Good day, everyone. My name is Sodïq Oyèkànmí, and I'll be reading the poems I love. Today, I'll be reading 3 poems. The first one, which I'll start now, is by Nome Emeka Patrick, published on the Waxwing Literary Journal, and titled Prelude to Survival. Prelude to Survival. I am in a darkness in my life where leaves floating down a tree could mean a disaster rather than a descent. Lord, I should break the bread and hold the chalice to the walls, forge a communion of everything that's tried to kill me. I should skip the ropes and pretend my body leaping off the earth is therapy, or wait at the foot of the cherry tree, pretend the blades of grass waving in the garden are ghosts of someone who loved me before I was born. Was named a promise, altar erected in place of affection. But what now is this oil spilled on the mirror? A drowning where a face should be. My image in the mirror's lung, almost a facade. I wrote happiness in every diary and went back to find a decayed tooth in its place. Inked page smeared by the blood of something that wasn't born, but imagined. Once, I slipped into my grandma's room to be sure she was still there. On the wall, a shadow, its movement a memento. Some days, I am so theater, grief audiences in me. Every who's and has, rusted pins tipped into a balloon. Thus, I become a fall, rings of the ruined. I can't tell what year it is in my darkness, my blood whistling like a whiz. But I can feel the flowers unfurling, dawn rising to meet dread, where if my body ascends, it must be a prelude to a magic. So this first poem is quite relatable to me, and the fact that at the time when this was published, I was a student at the theater department, University of Ibadan, and I was really tired because of the weights and excruciating rehearsals and classes, tests, and everything that comes with being a student. But then I read this poem, and I was like, this is me. It's about grief, about longing for survival. At the same time, going through all these challenges, thinking you would drown, or there's a line here that says, I wrote happiness in every diary. It shows that you're trying to survive, to keep writing about what makes you happy. But then there is grief in the background, like the shadow of your grandmother's in her room. But then, towards the end, there seems to be a lift from that darkness, kind of ascent, that shows that even in all this darkness, even in all this grief, I still want to survive. I still want to stay in the light. And it says, but I can feel the flowers unfurling, dawn rising to meet dread, where if my body ascends, it must be a prelude to magic. Now sometimes, it's magical how you can be in a very dark place, but then you strive out to move yourself in that kind of space and do something you love. So I love the poem for that. The second poem is by Bakr Sadiq, titled Post-Massacre Psych Evaluation. Post-Massacre Psych Evaluation. I know what I've seen of blood and death, what the night forgets to cover in its shadows, what part of paradise a bullet undresses before the body, before stealing light from its eyes. What was asked is, are you healing or still hurting? I don't know what you're looking for in me, but in my sleep, I keep talking to the dead bodies. They speak back to the tongue the government ate. They speak back with a tongue the government ate, with their mouthful of earth, black holes dying to swallow the country that toast their souls to heaven. How much did they pay you for your silence? Should the head be cut off from the body out of fear of what this city of smoke and blood has to tell it? I don't have all the answers. I know nothing of standing for what's right. I am scared of telling the truth. There are shooters outside my window. Why is this scar on your chin shaped like your country? The dead wish we could hear what they say. I can no longer speak of my needs on the street. How do you translate this kind of silence? There is a lot I cannot tell you. Nobody knows the price of silence, but all my friends are traumatized or waiting for the sun to name a part of them dwindling in oblivion. This poem is quite challenging for me to read because it's indeed a post-massacre psych evaluation after the October 20 Lekki Tollgate massacre, where youths came out to protest and reportedly and obviously with the clips online and everything we saw, that the Nigerian government actually shoot at these youths and lots of lives were recorded and people were injured. But then they try to like shade it with lies. And I mean, we live in a country where it's hard to like tell the truth because there is no voice for that. And in this poem, the writer, the poet, have been able to like let us know how it is to like, how excruciating it is to be able to like even put this into words, into a conversation. There are questions and there are answers. They're asking you, are you healing or still hurting? You can't even tell because there's a part of you that wants to heal from all of this. There's a part of you that wants to like leave this place. But then the country you are in is like a death trap, like a snare you can't possibly get out of. And I'm very sure everyone who is Nigerian or outside the country that can relate to this, how it is very sad, and we are still traumatized even till now. The fear of going out and say something about the government or saying something about being oppressed, and you'll be shot, you'll be killed, you'll be silenced in any way. The media will do that, the government will do that. So I like this poem. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I commend the poet for writing this. It's like writing for most of us who are able to like write exactly how we feel about it. And the last poem is in conversation to all of this together, in which as a writer, sometimes we always say writing is therapeutic. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's a lie. But then it's how it goes, like writing is therapeutic. And is a question that goes like, what can writing actually do for you as a person? Will writing actually take you out of that space? Is it going to heal you from your heart? So the title of this poem is My Poem Will Not Save You by Dunya Mikhail. So from the title, you will know that, okay, can poetry actually save you? I mean, you are depressed, you have anxiety, so you're going to write it out. Do you think it's going to save you? My Poem Will Not Save You by Dunya Mikhail. Remember the toddler lying face down on the sand and the waves gently receding from his body as if a forgotten dream. My poem will not turn him on his back and lift him up to his feet so he can run into a familiar lap like before. I am sorry. My poem will not block the shells when they fall onto a sleeping town, will not stop the buildings from collapsing around their residents, will not pick up the broken leg flower from under the shrapnel, will not raise the dead. My poem will not diffuse the bomb in the public square. It will soon explode where the girl insists that her father buy her gum. My poem will not rush them to leave the place and ride a car that will just miss the explosion. Many mistakes in life will not be corrected by my poem. Questions will not be answered. I am sorry. My poem will not save you. My poem cannot return all of your losses, not even some of them. And those who went far away, my poem wants to know how to bring them back to their lovers. I am sorry. I don't know why the birds sing during their crossings over our rims. Their songs will not save us, although in the chillest times they keep us warm, and when we need to touch the soul to know it's not dead, their songs give us that touch. So this poem I relate it to it's one of my I love Dunya Mikhail a lot, and this particular poem is just one of my favorites in the collection because as a writer myself, we tend to like give that lie that writing is therapeutic, and if I write this about this, poem will not save you, but at least it can like fight for you in a way to be able to like express yourself as other artistic form can. Some people write fiction, some people paint in a way to like express how they feel inside. But then to what extent can this literary form help us? To what extent can a political poem change the art of the government? The bombings, Iran, Israel, Ukraine, Russia, how do we as poets, as writers, are contributing to like, stopping all of this? We can only try, we can only tell the narrative in truth without, the influence of the media, what we see as the truth. But then we can't in person stretch out our hands to like remove these pains and bombs, shells and sharpness, or stop the bullets from shooting the boy, or lifting or reversing the joy back into someone's body. So it's a call to other writers too, to like, despite all of this, despite you can't take gun to like, protest, but you have your pen. You have your pen to like write, you have your paintbrush to like paint about these things, even though it won't save you, save the community, but it's what we can do. So I think these three poems, in a way, there is something interwoven, and these are the three poems I love. Thank you very much for listening.